Okay, so if any of you follow my Twitter or Instagram or Facebook page, you'll know that I've been working on getting this spindle and basically repairing that drill press right there. It's like a 1960s Delta Rockwell. It's a 20-inch drill press, and it's quite a machine. It's a great machine. It runs beautifully. Everything on it is actually pretty incredible, except for the spindle. So this lower spindle bearing that I got out, if you see this inside diameter on this bearing here, and actually this bearing is pretty seized up now. The inside diameter on this bearing is a little too large for this. I think either the spindle or the bearing wore out, or a little bit of both. Now, I couldn't track this one down. The smaller bearing was not an issue. This is an MRC 204, I believe. Yeah, 204. So I was able to get that. That wasn't an issue. This other bearing, though, it's basically the thickness and the outside diameter are metric. The interior bore is 1 inch. It's a 1-inch bore on the bearing. So could not find it anywhere. So basically what I wound up doing is getting this bearing, which is almost the same, and you probably can't even see it, but the inside diameter is actually a hair smaller than the shaft. So I can't actually press it on there. So what I'm going to have to do now is figure out, I'm going to have to machine this spindle down a bit. I don't have a lathe, so it's going to be a bit of an issue. I'm going to have to figure out what to do. I think what I'm going to wind up doing is spinning the shaft somehow, either in a drill, probably more likely by hand, and then using sandpaper until I get it down to the right diameter. I got the calipers out to make sure it's perfect, and then after I get that done, I will reassemble this entire thing and give it a test run, see how it runs. I think it's going to be pretty nice, actually. So let's give it a run and see how we do. So you can see I got the first bearing on. This was the one I had a hard time finding. I actually filed down the shaft to the actual diameter, and there's no wobble. That is nice and tight now. There's no issues. It spins very, very freely. So I'm happy with that. The next step is going to be just to clean up this stop screw here. That stops the depth of cut. As you can see, it got kind of rusted up there. So I'm going to take that off, clean it up on the wire wheel, clean up some of this other stuff, and then I'm going to start putting it all back together.
Bum, ba, ba, bum, 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 bum. It's finally done. So I replaced the spindle bearing that goes in here. I also replaced the upper spindle bearing, and this thing is rock solid now. Polished everything up, cleaned everything up. I also rewound the spring that's on this side that causes the spindle to retract back up. I hope this helped because I couldn't find any information on this drill press. Again, it's a Rockwell 70-400. But I also wanted to show you some of the other things that I did with this drill press to make it a little more suitable to a woodworker. And these are some things you can do with your drill press also, either on a smaller scale, because obviously this is a monstrous drill press, but things that I found were very helpful for me with this drill press. So we're going to start off with this table. So again, here is the table. Now on this table, underneath there's a 2-inch thick cast iron table underneath, which weighs a ton, but it's not really suitable for woodworking. So I replaced it and put this wooden top on top. You can see it's laminated plywood. It had to be that thick just to cover the cast iron base, and it's clamped underneath. I included 2 T-slot tracks right here for these hold downs and whatever other tools you might want to put into a T-slot. And this fence. On top of this, again, this is just laminated plywood that I milled square. It's a perfect 90 to the table. And on top of it is Incra's fence. And on the back of their fences is the teeth. They're every 32nd of an inch or so. So it takes a shop stop like this. You could actually just slide that on, tighten it, and it engages with those teeth. So this allows me to have a positive stop so that I can hog out material for mortises or whatever and stay accurate. On the back of this fence there are 2 star nuts, which allow the fence to slide forward and backwards and remove it also if the need be. The next thing I'd like to show you is the base. So here's the base cabinet for this drill press. Now one of the features of this is the frame underneath. I had to build a 2x4 frame to support the weight of this drill press. This drill press is probably 500 or 600 pounds, so I needed something solid to support that weight. Around that frame is where I built the cabinet. Now this cabinet's built out of cherry ply. Again, not because I think it's pretty, it is pretty, but it's because I had it sitting around the shop. So I built this frame. On the top of it here, you'll see it supports the bottle jack that raises and lowers the table. When I bought this drill press, there is a mechanism that's supposed to raise and lower the table, but it was broken. And I found a replacement part, but it was somewhere in like the $1,700 range. So I decided to buy a $20 bottle jack and use that instead. So it works. Past that, one of the nice features of this is this drawer that I built. Now, I used a stainless steel pull that I salvaged off of a ship. If you can, try to salvage materials, especially for shop furniture. They work great. On Long Island, we do have a lot of ships that are old and rotted and stuff, so we can get a lot of this stuff basically for free. So I'll pull this out here and show you some of the features and how I constructed this drawer. You'll notice there's a cutout here, and all that's for is to slide around the pole that supports the drill press table and head on the pole. And it allows it to just slide in and out and go right around that spot. One of the other things I did was extended the drawer face all the way to the floor. That works as kind of a kickstand. And you gotta imagine, if you're gonna fill this drawer with probably 100 pounds, maybe plus of drill bits, it's all steel, you might have a problem with this drawer sagging, and over time maybe even splintering the runners that it rides on. So now with this kickstand, I don't have to worry about this drawer sagging in any way. And with that in mind, with shop furniture and shop drawers holding a lot of weight, one of the other features that I use in shop furniture is this runner here. Now you'll see this runner, instead of attaching a hardwood slide that would run into the dado, this slide is actually the drawer bottom. So I put a piece of 3/4 inch plywood on the drawer bottom, which runs in this dado. And what that does is basically it acts, this entire drawer is now a shelf that's supported, instead of having a separate drawer bottom that you have to worry about possibly falling out if you put too much weight in. So now this, as you can see, will support my entire weight in that drawer without an issue. So just another little trick that I like to use for shop furniture. And with shop furniture, it's really the function over the looks of things. You may want everything in your shop to look beautiful, and that's cool. If you want to spend the time and do that, that's great. I've seen a lot of beautiful shops and beautiful shop furniture. But for me, I'd rather just have
honestly the functionality of it. I want it to be bulletproof, basically. I want it to last a long time. I want to be able to beat it up and not have to worry about anything breaking down and me having to rebuild anything. So I build everything rock solid. Now, the way I built this drawer is not how I would build something in a house, not on a built-in or a kitchen or something like that. But again, for shop furniture, it works great. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope some of these features that I put on my drill press might help you with your drill press setup. And I appreciate everybody who's been subscribing and watching the videos. I'm going to take a moment to just request something from the viewers. If you can, give me some tips and suggestions on the videos and maybe suggestions on projects you'd like to see built. I'm very good at building things. I've been doing it my whole life. But I'm not that great at this videography thing and video editing, and it's all kind of a new thing for me. So I'm learning as I go. So thanks for bearing with me. But if you have any tips or suggestions on how to do maybe the video editing side of things, and if you have any suggestions on projects, please leave them in the comments section below. Again, I appreciate everyone who's subscribing. Please share the video so we can build the subscriber base. And thank you again. See ya.